Welcome back. Today we are going to continue The Adventures of Buster Bear by Thornton W. Burgess. Chapter 20. Buster Bear carries off the pail of Farmer Brown's boy. The question is, did Buster Bear steal Farmer Brown's boy's pail? To steal is to take something which belongs to someone else. There is no doubt that he stole the berries that were in the pail when he found it, for he deliberately ate them. He knew well enough that someone must have picked them, for who ever heard of blueberries growing in tin pails? So there's no doubt that when Buster took them, he stole them. But with the pail, it was different. He took the pail, but he didn't mean to take it. In fact, he didn't want that pail at all. You see, it was this way. When Buster found that big tin pail brimming full of delicious blueberries in the shade of that big bush in the old pasture, he didn't stop to think whether or not he had the right to take them. Buster is so fond of berries that from the very second that his greedy little eyes saw that pail, he forgot everything but the feast that was waiting for him right under his very nose. He didn't think about the right or wrong of helping himself. There before him were more berries than he had ever seen together at all in one time of his life, and all he had to do was eat and eat and eat. And that is just what he did do. Of course, he upset the pail, but he didn't mind a little thing like that. When he had gobbled up all the berries that rolled out, he thrust his nose into the pail to get all that was left in it. Just then he heard a little noise, as if someone were coming. He threw up his head to listen, and somehow, he never did just know how, the handle of the pail slipped back over his ears and caught there. This was bad enough, but to make matters worse, just at that very minute, he heard a shrill, angry voice saying, "Hi there! Get out of there!" He didn't need to be told whose voice that was. It was the voice of Farmer Brown's boy. Right then and there, Buster Bear nearly had a fit. There was this awful pail fast over his head so that he couldn't see a thing. Of course, that meant that he couldn't run away, which was the thing of all things he wanted most to do. For as big as he is and as strong as he is, Buster's very shy and bashful when human beings are around. He growled and whined and squealed. He tried to back out of the pail and couldn't. He tried to shake it off and couldn't. He tried to pull it off, but somehow he couldn't get a hold of it. Then there was another yell. If Buster hadn't been so frightened himself, he might have recognized the second yell as one of fright, for that is what it was. You see, Farmer Brown's boy had just discovered Buster Bear, and when he had yelled the first time, he had supposed it was one of the young cattle who lived in the old pasture all summer. But when he saw Buster, he was just as badly frightened as Buster himself. In fact, he was too surprised and frightened even to run. After that second yell, he just stood still and stared. Buster clawed at the awful thing on his head more frantically than ever. Suddenly it slipped off so he could see. He gave one frightened look at Farmer Brown's boy, and then with a mighty woof, he started for the green forest as fast as his legs could take him. And this was very fast indeed, let me tell you. He didn't stop to pick out a path, but just crashed through the bushes as if they were nothing at all, just nothing at all. But the funniest thing of all is this. He took the pail with him. Yes, sir. Buster ran away with the big tin pail of Farmer Brown's boy. You see, when it slipped off his head, the handle was still around his neck, and there he was, running away with the pail hanging from his neck. He didn't want it. He would have given anything to get rid of it, but he took it because he couldn't help it. And that brings us back to the question. Did Buster Bear steal Farmer Brown's boy's pail? What do you think? And that's the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you.